Go.
What is up, guys? This is the Countdown Podcast. This is episode 486. And today we are counting down our top 10 Southern rap albums. Um,
Top 10.
I had a picture that I'll throw it in the thumbnail about what counts as a Southern rap. It's like the highlighted states of what can be considered like if you're from here, it counts as Southern rap. So I'll put that in. You'll see that
Yeah.
in the thumbnail.
Yeah, because I think there's definitely a distinction because like states like New Mexico and like Arizona
Yeah,
might technically be southern, but you've got dudes like Exhibit who live, I think he's from like New Mexico, but he claims
yeah,
the West Coast.
yeah.
His music sounds West Coast and yeah, so we're I
I,
think we're
I think that's like
mainly
I think that's
mostly
like an
thinking
interesting mix of West and South, because West and South have
yeah,
always kind of been fairly they've intermingled a lot.
I'd say
Uh,
so. I think in the 90s there was a lot of elements and yeah, I think they've kind of gone hand in hand.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think mainly what we're thinking of today is kind of that what is it like southeast, that the kind of Bible Belt area and like
Hmm.
Florida, those type of places.
Yeah. I guess we can name the big. I like to consider it. I guess you can consider it five main cities, which is
Yeah.
Houston, Memphis, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Miami. Those are the
Mhm.
big
Mhm.
cities for Southern rap. Sorry, like
Yeah.
Mississippians, but you don't count.
Yeah, it doesn't really have as many standout acts, I feel like, or at least not a as identifiable sound. And just a little bit of a disclaimer. It's just me and Austin today.
Yes.
Soren and Samuel. Uncultured, couldn't name a southern rap
Yeah.
album, and we love hip hop.
And that's why we fired them, and
Austin,
it's just us now.
yeah, it's just us. And the next episode will be also about southern hip hop.
Our next top 10, which
Yep.
is
Um,
the 10 other Southern albums that we don't like as much as our top 10 that we're presenting today.
yeah.
But I guess to start, we
Uh,
do have some honorable mentions that we could talk
yeah.
about. Um,
Yeah.
I probably
Um,
I probably have a
I
slightly bigger
suppose yeah,
list.
you
I
can go
have
first.
I have about how long is my list? I have 8 honorable mentions. Um,
I got three.
I
I
guess
guess I don't know. Before you give those, do you just want to explain? Because you're like we're both big hip hop guys,
yeah,
but you
but
are
we're also
definitely more
white.
of like the southern. Yeah, we're white. You're like the southern. Like that's your jam.
Yeah, I think it was it kind of goes all the way back to when I first started listening to music. I was one of those Eminem stands. I would only listen to Eminem,
Hey,
and
we all start somewhere.
yeah. Luckily, I
I
broke out
was
of that
too.
echo
I was too.
chamber. And the first person that I listened to besides Eminem was Lil Wayne, and to this
Whew.
day, he's still my favorite rapper. So, and he's from
Mhm.
the South. He's from New Orleans. Um, and he has a couple places on my list that you'll hear about,
Mm.
but that just kind of started my descent into madness, which is Southern rap. Um,
Yeah.
it's never
And
quite stopped. I'm still finding new stuff.
yeah, I already know the answer to this, but what is your favorite southern rap city?
Memphis. Memphis is
Of
easily the
course.
best. Easily. It's still
Of course. Yeah.
it was it is most influential, I would say, out of the big five, because now there's funk and there's still a ton of Memphis rappers who are still like huge, like um to name a few, like Eneli Choppa. I don't listen to him a whole
Key
lot, but
Glock, man. Shout out
Key
Key Glock.
Glock,
He's got an album dropping tomorrow as of this record.
yeah. So he's
Glock
another one.
Glockavelli.
I'm blanking on the rest. Moneybagg Yo, he's from
Of
Memphis.
course, yeah.
Young Dolph.
Um,
We could
Rest in
continue,
peace.
but
Didn't he
yeah,
die?
yeah. Rest in peace, but we can continue.
Yeah.
But I think you'll see that based on my list that is definitely my favorite. I don't
And
know. I don't know
yeah,
if
I
you
think
have one, Evan, that you wanna.
oh boy. I mean this is probably the basic pick, but I'm gonna say Atlanta.
Yeah.
I feel like I
Atlanta's
mean,
only
just
gotten, I feel like, bigger when it comes to, I guess, standout artists, because it used to be, I guess, like Outkast was, well, I guess going back
yeah.
for like, I'm not too well versed in Atlanta rap history, but like, Crisscross, the guys who made Jump, they I
Oh
think
yeah,
they're before.
the Atlanta act.
Yeah, there's a couple others. I think there's a rap group made out of girls. I can't remember what they're. I don't think it was
Salt and
Salt.
Pepper,
I
is
don't
that
think it was
them?
Salt. It might have been. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I'm not too. I don't know
but
a whole lot about all that, but yeah, I think. I mean, obviously things like Outkast back in the
yeah,
'90s, but even like just like in the modern man, like
yeah.
a
That's what I
lot
was
of people
saying.
think of
It's
like
only gotten
New
bigger.
York. Yeah, New York is kind of like the I don't know the is nexus the right word for like the hub of like I mean hip hop was born out of New York, but I think easily Atlanta stands as kind of like the
Yeah,
like
I
in the
think it is.
modern kind of the most important city at least right now.
Yeah,
'Cause you
yeah.
got like
It's really only
really
gotten bigger. Like
yeah, you got
basically
really
all the.
influential people.
Yeah, I'd
You got
agree. So I
Playboy
think.
Cardi, Future.
I forget Playboy Cardi's from.
Where's our Cardi fans?
Yeah, yeah. Where's our music fans?
Yeah, music is number one on my list.
Mine too. But
Okay.
but anyway, do we want to give some of our honorable mentions?
Yeah, I think you should probably go first because I only have three
Okay, I can just
honorable
rattle
mentions.
off the first. I don't know if we need to spend all this much time on it, but I have. These are in no particular order either. I have The Fix by Scarface,
Oh,
uh, Rodeo by Travis Scott. You just reminded me of that. I don't think it quite makes my
okay.
top 10. I have Mr. Thug Isolation by Lil Ugly
Ooh,
Mane.
okay.
Already Platinum by Slim Thug. Uh, Flockavelli by Waka Flocka.
Oh, that's a good one.
Monster by Future. The
I didn't think
Cart.
that was gonna make it. Wow,
No,
I'm
I think
surprised.
I think that's easily Future's best album.
Yeah, I was
If I had
listening
to
to that
say,
earlier today. Matter of fact,
yeah.
so it's a really great album.
There aren't a whole lot of, I guess, more modern Southern rap albums on my top 10. So
Yeah.
a lot of the more modern ones are going on this one. And then I have the Carter 2 by Lil Wayne, and then
Wow, that's on your
I know
honorable
I was
mention.
thinking about it because I feel like there are some on my top 10 that I might not like as much as the Carter 2, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I feel like a top 10 should be comprised of not only like your favorite albums, but have a little
Yeah.
diversity. I don't know.
Hmm.
And a lot of these might be switchable on the day. Um,
Yeah.
and then my last one is Thug Motivation by Jeezy.
Okay, that's pretty good. Um. Okay, yeah, I'll give mine. I just have thrue because I'm
You didn't
like
think as hard.
there weren't. Yeah, I didn't think it's hard. I made my list about like 5 minutes before we started recording. That's not. I've been thinking about it for a while, but
These are things that you just think about.
I put it on paper.
Yeah.
Um, my
I
top
have a
three.
Google Drive up right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not as prepared. Um, my top three in no particular order. Or three honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Number one. I also have Mr. Thug Isolation from
Yeah.
Ugly Man,
That
Lil
was
Ugly Man.
that was the one that I re-listened to I think yesterday, and I didn't comparing it to my some of my top tens. I didn't like it as much.
Hmm.
I think there are a couple misses on it, and then some that just it's like I guess premise just doesn't really work out.
Yeah. I had it. I think. Even still, I think it kind of stands out as one of my favorite experimental kind of albums,
Yeah, for
or at
sure.
least rap albums. I
It
think
has a
it.
lot of insane tracks on there.
Yeah.
I guess let me let me pull it up.
Mm. And just a little background on Lil Ugly Mane. So I don't actually know where he's from. I know he's Southern, but
I think I looked this up because I was curious too. I think it said he was maybe from Virginia. I can look it up right
yeah,
now.
I think that's kind of ringing a bell too. So Lil
Cause
Ugly Mane, um, this album came out
yeah,
what
Richmond,
2012?
Virginia. This is what the internet is
Richmond.
telling me.
Oh, yeah. So 2012, I think this album came out. And yeah, it's definitely really experimental. Even though he's from Virginia, I'd say, I mean, you're probably, I think you'd probably agree. It really sounds more like a Memphis
Yeah,
inspired
it's
album.
definitely inspired by a lot of Memphis, and then he does bring a lot of stuff over that I guess it just like there's a lot of would you consider it like jazz?
I think,
Just
yeah,
like
definitely on songs like "Serious Shit," I think
yeah,
it's definitely
and
really
which
jazzy.
just makes it a very enjoyable listen. Like those songs are absolute bangers. So it's just I think the reason it didn't make my top 10 is there's just a couple that are maybe not exactly my thing.
Yeah,
And most
I
of the
uh,
most of
I
the
definitely agree.
most of the albums on my top 10, there's like no skips for me. And I guess for
Yeah,
example, I don't really like Mona Lisa Overdrive or Looking for the Sucking.
yeah, I sort of agree. There are a couple songs where I'm just like, they're more skips, but I'd say that for the most part, like every single or
Yeah,
all the other songs are just like
you got
insane production, and not to mention he produces everything himself. So just
yeah
as kind of an artist, he's
yeah. I would
a
agree.
pretty
I think though when
well
you
faceted.
yeah when you make an album like this, I just feel like like there's no way. Well, I guess there is a way, but I just feel like some songs just won't hit for some people when they're all just
Hmm.
this weird and out there. I
Yeah,
just don't think it's possible for most people. That was the case for me, which kept
yeah.
it from outside my top 10. Because when I made the list originally, I thought it would be in my top 10, but
Hmm.
comparing it to
Yeah,
this,
a good album though. Definitely very kind of dark sounding,
yep.
but like, yeah, very experimental. If you like funk, this might be an album for you. I maybe that's a I don't know. What would you say? You think this is
Uh,
an album for a funk type of guy?
I don't know. I think no offense funk listeners, but I think most funk is pretty one note. It's pretty similar to each other.
Yeah, you might be right. I'm kind of just thinking, yeah, it's very Memphis inspired, and for those who
Yeah, there's a
don't
lot of
know,
Memphis
funk is
samples.
yeah, and yeah, funk is kind of derivative of a lot of Memphis, like classic
Hmm.
Memphis stuff. So I
Yep.
think there's a connection to be made, but yeah, it's definitely really experimental, but makes for a good listen if you're into that type of stuff. Okay, I'll kind of breeze through these other ones. I'm actually gonna add one. So we're gonna do four.
Okay.
Daytona by Pusha T.
Okay.
This is a great album. I
Yeah.
just really like this one. It's short.
Yeah.
It's to the point. It's just awesome. And if
Hmm.
you include, which I do, his Story of Adidon diss track because it's kind of a
Oh,
natural extension of the album. That's my favorite diss track. I love that diss track
doesn't
so
that album
much.
end with a diss on like the whole Cash
Yeah,
Tiger? Is like
Infrared is a Drake diss, and then Drake
I think he's
responded,
dissing
and
Lil
then
Wayne on it too. Isn't he dissing Lil Wayne
yeah,
and
he disses a lot.
Birdman?
I think Birdman, kind of all of them, mainly Drake, because then it got his response, and then he
Yeah.
dropped. So, but yeah, great album. Pusha T is just a legend.
Yeah.
And then next one, I put 400 Degrees by Juvenile on here.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um, Holy crap, bro! Like Manny Fresh. I think Manny Fresh is like my favorite producer, and this album is like one of the main reasons for it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just such a vibe, man. Like, I don't know, it's just so great.
He has this weird
Um,
style of rapping that it's just you can't really get anywhere else. He just
yes, bro.
raps.
It
On
really is
some
great.
songs it doesn't work for me. Like I don't really like Ha. Like
No, I feel
it's
like
a bit.
Hot's kind of overrated.
Yeah, I do too a little bit. Um, but same thing. When you're doing something weird, I mean, I really don't know what he's thinking on that song. It's just I've tried to give it chances and just like try and I guess piece
Yeah,
together what he's trying to do, and it just sounds like he just sounds offbeat the entire time. I don't get it.
yeah, I kind of agree, and it sounds really poorly mixed in my opinion. Spotify put this in their top 50 like hip hop beats of all times. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Um,
so many better like produced tracks on that album.
yeah, that being said, yeah, it's a really good album, and yeah, he's got a good he's also New Orleans
Yep.
connected to Lil Wayne. And then my last one that I'm gonna put modern album here came out only a couple years ago. I'm saying "Melt My Eyes, See Your Future," the extended edition by Denzel Curry.
Is the
I
extended
had to
edition different from his like soul version of it?
we'll see the original version came out, and like that alone is like just fucking awesome. But then the extended edition, like he like got into a studio and like did like live jazz remixes of
Yeah.
like most of his songs, which is just like insane. It's probably like
Is it better than
I've thought
the
about it. It's
released album? Like, is it better than the original?
No, because I think there's missing a couple songs, so overall, I think I'd take the original, but the extended edition includes both, so,
Oh,
like, it's kinda
gotcha.
cheating a little bit,
Yeah.
but, like, it's genuinely probably one of the best extended versions of an
Well, I
album
do
that I've
think we will
probably
both
ever heard.
have a double album on our top 10, which we'll
Oh,
get to
yes.
eventually.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, that's oh, we also me, Austin and I had just saw Denzel Curry in concert
Yeah.
recently for his King of the Mischievous South World Tour.
And he
It
did
was
play
great.
he did play Twisting off of Mr. Thug Isolation, I guess.
Yes, he
He was
did. Yeah, he
he
did.
was saying that it was off of the original King of the Mischievous South with I don't think either of us have listened to that.
Yeah, I have not listened because it's
It's
not
not
on
really
any streaming services.
yeah. It's just kind of like I've listened to I think all of Denzel Curry's albums other than I guess that
Mhm.
remix and but that's all that's just all that's on Spotify.
Yeah, but yeah, that's I love that album. It's just really good. And Denzel Curry, he's such like a generational talent,
Yeah,
but
he is.
um. I suppose we can get into our top tens now. This is where the real meat and potatoes.
Yeah, yeah. This is where we'll have to slow it down a bit, and
Mhm.
I guess apart from if some of your honorable mentions made my list or the other way around, we
Yeah,
could.
I assume. Did any of mine make your list?
Yes, it did.
I assume. I think I know which one, but I'll let you get to it.
I guess I could just
Um.
say my top or my number 10, which is Trap Music by Ti.
Well, I didn't think that. I didn't expect that.
I just every time it's weird. Every time I return to that album, I realize how good it is. And just like
Mm,
how basically flawless it well not flawless but it's just there's so many classic songs on it
yeah.
that I don't know it's just I would feel wrong to not put that on my top 10.
Yeah. So Ti, or Atlanta, right?
Yep.
Okay. And yeah, I don't. I actually have not listened to that album fully, but I
Yeah,
mean, I've
I
heard
don't think I
almost
mean
all of it,
that's
but
one of those albums where there's not a whole lot to say about it just because it's I don't know it's just kind of a banger album. It's
yeah. Well, I mean, Ti. I mean, like when you mention like trap music, I feel like a lot of people think of like Travis Scott and
yeah,
like Future, but like, I mean, when did that album come out? Like
I think
early
2002
2000s,
2002.
2002. Like that's pretty
Let
insane.
me fact check that because I think his first album was in 1999. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, and
So
like
yeah, that came. Oh no, 2003, and then his first
that's
one
still
came out
pretty early.
2001. Okay.
Yeah. No, super early, especially like for trap music. I like. Would you say you think like Ti could be credited with being like the inventor of trap music?
I think most people associate him with the start. I think Gucci Mane is one of those who, as well, like, because I guess trap music was originally intended to be music about like dealing drugs. Um,
Yeah.
which not a whole lot. Like, you wouldn't really see that in like East Coast or West Coast up until this point. It was more gangster
Hmm.
oriented, not about selling
Yeah.
drugs. But so yeah, that was kind of the start about it, and then just kind of got more associated with I don't know what are those like hi hat beats? What would you call it? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like hi-hats,
people
808s.
call them trap beats, but like I'm trying to find a different way to.
I'd say yeah, I mean hi-hats for sure, snares, I guess,
Hmm.
but honestly, like not like it's weird because trap music, I don't really like there's drum beats or like which I feel like is kind of more like that's kind of the origin because I mean like
Hmm.
I think it turned I don't really know what the beat machines that they use, but it's not like they're on a drum set live recording that. It's like they have a beat machine.
Hmm.
And they use like hi-hats and 808s and like snares and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But people hate on trap, man, but trap's great.
yeah. I mean, there. I would say maybe say there are is a lot more like probably bad trap than there is like maybe other
Yeah.
genres because it just seems more easy to make. Or maybe maybe
Hmm.
you can consider drill the new trap music because drill fucking sucks.
Yeah, honestly, I think. I mean, maybe this is a discussion for another day, but I feel like drill music for the most part is kind of an infection. Like I feel like not a whole lot as good is coming from drill music because I feel like that's a entry point for a lot of like I mean, yeah, maybe this is
It's just
conversation for another day, but I
yeah,
feel like it's too associated with violence and violence is almost like
yeah.
seems like it's almost prioritized over like actually making good music because there's just all these
King
kids who are
Von.
like yeah, King Von, like the dude's out here like killing 300 people a day instead of just making actual good music.
Yeah, yeah. He's like killing people while he's still making music and like making millions. Like,
Yeah,
what's your issue, bro?
yeah, bro, come on, chill out. But yeah, anyways,
But yeah,
yeah, so yeah, that's
originator
that's a
of
good one.
trap music. Also very very good album.
Atlanta Legend. Okay, I'll give my number 10. I've got Hell Hath No Fury by Clips.
Wow.
Um,
I guess I could just say it now. That was my number 9.
oh,
Which
whoa, really?
yeah,
What
I
the heck? Okay, yeah,
that was
let's
what
just
I was
talk
talking
about
about
it.
before, which would probably surprise you because I guess we can talk about a while back. Evan kept trying to show me this album and I did not like it. I was a very anti Clips person.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of Pusha T's like solo stuff, but
Mhm.
I just couldn't get past the production, I guess. And that was just
Yeah.
a personal thing. It is the album is pretty acquired, I would say. Um,
Yeah. Well, because it's produced entirely by the Neptunes, which is Pharrell Williams, who's
mhm.
like obviously a legend, and his partner Chad Hugo. And yeah, I mean, like for as big of a producer as Pharrell is, he definitely has got like, especially some of his older stuff. It's
Yeah.
definitely like kind of weird.
Mhm.
Um, and I think I remember you described it as the beats sound incomplete or like
Yeah.
unfinished, and I would almost sort of agree, but I think in a way that kind of like just the sound of
I
it.
think what I've come to realize is it's more leaving room for the artist to just rap their ass off instead of the
Yeah,
production kind of taking over and controlling. Because that
that's good.
I feel like a lot of southern rap, and this is kind of why I like it. The production is very it's very I don't know. It kind of takes a center stage sometimes. Um,
Mhm.
and I think that's what Clips they do the opposite of that. I think the production is more low key, and then they kind of go crazy. And
Yeah, and I mean, who better to just go insane? Because Clips is like obviously Pusha T, and then his brother,
mhm.
Malice or No Malice now. Like holy shit, like they're back and forth on this album.
Yeah,
Like when you think of like rap duos, like they're like I guess chemistry together. Like this is like almost like this is it. Like
yeah,
their ability to like bounce off one another and just like deliver these just like fucking like it's albums like this that reminds me that like fucking Pusha T is like evil, bro.
yeah,
Like I
yes,
don't like he like some of the stuff that him and his brother say on this album
yeah.
are like
They're kind of crazy.
it's like fucking nasty. Like I think it's on I love this song. It's Keys Open
Yeah,
Doors.
yeah. I know what you're
He
gonna
says
say.
like money's the least, drag a bitch by her dog collar.
Yeah,
Like what the heck? Like
yeah,
that's
yeah. It is
that's terrible. But like that's just their thing, bro. And like they're just rapping about like killing people and like mostly just like
right,
selling cocaine the whole time.
right
Like,
after talking about
oh my
drill music is too violent.
gosh. Well, yeah, but my thing is like it's not like Pusha T's actually out. Like he
Yeah,
may have sold crack at one point, but now he's just committed to making good music. So
I
I feel like there's a
I think
difference.
it may be a very fine line, but I think in some cases you can kind of tell when they're embellishing things.
Yeah.
Because Lil Wayne does that all the time. He always raps about killing people, but a lot of the time it's used
Yeah.
in almost like a comical way, like for a
Right.
good punchline or something. And I think I don't know. Maybe it is harder to draw that line with Clips just because of how serious their music is.
I think what's like like obviously like clearly by the things that they're talking about on this album, like at some point in their life they were selling cocaine, which
Yeah.
is like, not acceptable because like, that's a terrible thing. But like while recording this album, it's not like in between recording sessions they're going out and like slinging coke and like
I
doing hits in like terrible stuff like that
Who
because
knows? Who
they're
knows,
clearly.
dude?
I mean, yeah,
I
maybe
I,
not.
I also
Maybe
think
I'm wrong.
I also think it is a kind of a like some you can kind of make the argument that maybe they sort of had to do that. Like I guess in
Oh,
we might not be experts on this, so please don't
yeah.
kill
I
us.
mean,
But
yeah. I mean, whatever they're coming from that made them do that, like it happened. But
yeah,
I think it's clear that like listening to this album, they're definitely more focused on making really good music
yeah,
and rapping really good more than they're focused on like doing evil.
yeah. It's just like
Um,
when that's something you know, like you're probably gonna rap about it.
Right. And that definitely comes like this is like coke rap at its finest. Like this is an insane album.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yep, I would agree.
Definitely go listen.
Yep. Well, I
But so that
guess
was your number 9.
yeah, that's my number 9.
Should I give my number 9 then?
Yeah.
Okay. Um okay, one of we'll just I'll just wait. Okay, number 9, I'm going The Carter 3 by Lil Wayne.
Ah, okay.
Um I've kind of just thought about it like I mean like Lil Wayne also I'd say like like you put me on to Lil Wayne when we were younger,
Mhm.
and he's still like one of my favorite. He's my most listened to artist ever, and I love his music. And the Carter series is legendary, and I'd say the Carter 3 isn't like it's his most popular, but I'd say there are better installments. But I
Yeah.
also just like love this.
It
Like it's just
I
such a
I
good album.
I do jump between the Carters a lot. Usually it's between 1, 2, and 3.
Hmm.
And it's kind of just off the day which one I'll pick, but I guess I think if I had to pick one and like I guess the rest were deleted forever, I would probably have to pick the Carter 3.
Really? Oh wow.
I think I would have to because it's he's doing all this different stuff on it. It's I guess I think it's when he truly became as versatile as he was. Like he's doing just so much on that album. Just like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah. There's a reason why like people say like Lil Wayne was a like pretty much uncontested rapper around this time because it came out in like 2008, and that's pretty much like that time period is like
Hmm.
considered like Lil Wayne was at his peak. No one could really touch him.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got songs like a Millie and like Mr. Carter. It's like I don't know.
It
It's
is
just such
really
a good
just
album. The amount of
it's almost hard to describe why it's good. Most of it is
yeah.
to do with his rapping. There's a bit of like Kanye's producing a bit on the album. There's a lot of really good
Mhm.
production.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, like Dr. Carter, man. Holy crap.
yeah, it is really just one that you have to go listen to, and
Yeah.
it's just hard to describe. I would say.
I think yeah, I mean some people say it's overrated because I mean it's his best biggest album, but like how do you like I don't know, like I feel like it's still such like an amazing album and like such a important point in his career and just an important point in rap. So
Yeah.
like I don't know,
It
it's just such a great album. So I
it's
just felt
also
like I had
hard
to
to
include it.
compare his main like I guess like studio albums and then his mixtapes because
Yeah,
I almost like I'm almost changing my mind right now because No Ceilings 1 I feel like I like even more than the Carter 3.
really. Oh wow.
Just so I almost maybe consider changing that, but I'm not gonna do that now. But No Ceilings 1 is just I guess his almost his and even Dedication 2 could be one of those albums as well where it's just like his rapping ability distilled down to an album and it you just witness him like one of the best rappers show why he's one of the best rappers.
Yeah, you're literally watching like greatness,
Hmm.
listening to greatness. But yeah, the amount of I feel like the amount of uh like this is probably the album that I know most. Like I could probably rap along with like a lot of this album,
Yeah.
probably more than any other album, just because
Iconic
it's just
verses.
so fire. Yeah, really iconic. But yeah, it's just great. So yeah, it's my number 9.
And it's also hard to rank it because of how much music he has. Like
Yeah, it definitely is.
like the sheer volume of his music is kind of baffling. Like I hear new songs every time I get back into listening to Lil Wayne like heavy. I'll just like come across
Mm.
new songs I've never heard before.
And they're
Um,
fucking fire. Like it's an amazing song that's like, holy shit, how did he do this? And then
yeah,
you find like 100 more.
yeah. So it is almost hard to put him in lists like this where it's like he does so much more than just make albums
Yeah.
because he's also the feature. What like yeah, we can move on. Lil Wayne's the goat.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Number 8. What do you got?
I had 400 degrees.
Oh, really? Okay, that was
Yeah,
the one that I figured you'd have just from
yeah. So I guess
honorable.
we can kind of skip past that.
Well,
I
I
guess
mean, if
I
you
will
got
say
anything you want to add.
other than Ha, I like basically every song on the album. Um, kind of like what you said, Manny Fresh's production is elite.
Yeah, it's just it's like
And I would
there's
also
really
say,
nothing else that I've heard like it. I don't know.
and I would also say I'm maybe just a sucker for um like rap songs where there's a ton of people on them. Like Hot Boys appear multiple times
Yeah.
on this album, and same with the Big Timers. They're just all over it. So I really like when a big group hops on a song like UPT. Amazing. That's maybe
Yeah,
my favorite
UPT is
track off the
really good.
album.
Oh, well, wow. I wouldn't have expected that one. But yeah, that is a good song. But yeah, Juvenile, also yeah, he's like a New Orleans rapper. He came up with Lil Wayne.
Hmm.
He's like I don't know what like kind of Lil Wayne's like bigger brother, I guess,
Yeah,
but he just didn't
he
really
was
make it.
popular before Lil Wayne was popular.
Yeah. He was kind of the
Like
star of
yeah,
the Hot Boys, which is the group Lil Wayne was in
he
with.
was like the Cash Money like highest prospect to make money, and then I think he left, and then it became Lil Wayne.
Yeah. But yeah, that I mean that 400 degrees is like no
Hmm.
joke, no joke.
Yeah. So
Um,
I guess you can give your what is it, your number 7?
I think this is my number 8
Oh really?
as well.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my number 8. This one I put Stankonia for it by Outkast. Might
Oh
might be
okay.
another kind of more basic pick, but like I feel like just in the Outkast discography, which is like insane. I mean, there is no wrong pick, it seems.
Other than what
Um,
is their like last album, the
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 movie
cowboy
one,
one?
Idlewild or
Yeah,
whatever.
Outer Wild. If you pick that one,
Yeah, that
you
one's a
need to be
bad
beat
pick.
with a Billy Club.
Yeah.
Insane take.
Yeah. But yeah, this one I feel like it's like most like weird.
Yeah,
Um, in a way, just like the production is like really like
yeah.
just it's like funky and I like funk. Um, and yeah, it's just weird and I really like it.
Yeah,
And
you
I
could
mean, obviously
argue
Outkast is a pretty iconic group, so
you could argue they reached their creative peak on that album.
yeah, I think like songs like Red Velvet. Red Velvet is my favorite Outkast song of all time, just because it's like they just it's like guns ablazing on it. Like everything is just like insane on
Hmm.
and like
You could argue though like
Bombs Over
any
Baghdad
pick
and
by
all.
Outkast is correct.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
literally.
consistent they are. It's similar with Lil Wayne, where it's like you can really just pick anyone you want, throw it up there. No one's really gonna
Yeah.
argue with you about it.
Yeah, yeah. You can throw a dart at the board and
Yeah.
you're gonna have a good pick. And so yeah, I mean Outkast, everyone knows them. Atlanta. Um, yeah, I feel like yeah, this is their peak for me just because it's just really creative and like obviously they're
It's
just
also
like two of
really
the best
long,
like
isn't it?
rappers. Yeah, I mean, I know it's over an hour for sure.
You get a
And
pretty good selection of songs there.
yeah, I think when an album's that long and continues to be engaging is
I
a
gotta go back
tell.
and listen to Snapping and Trapping because I remember I'm a huge Run the
Yeah,
Jewels fan, and when I went back to listen to that, I was disappointed by that song because I was just like, I love Killer Mike,
I
and
think that I mean that beat is so like weird and maybe not in like the greatest way. I think it could be better, but I think what is really good is like Killer Mike and Big Boy, like
hmm
their ability to go back and forth and just flow with each other is really impressive.
yeah,
But yeah, the beat is a little weird. Like in not in the same good way that everything else on the album is weird, but maybe
yeah.
it's just not for us. But
hmm
uh, yeah, great album. I'll let you number 7.
All right, my number 7 is what is it? Hold on, I gotta get the whole. Okay, I knew it was okay. Mister, don't play. Everything's working by
Is
Project
that
Pat.
a Project Pat?
It's I think his second album.
Because is
It.
that the one with chicken heads on it?
Yep. Yeah. Uh, it is it's a pretty long album as well. It's an hour and 13 minutes long of
Oh dang.
just I guess I think DJ Paul produces most of the songs on that album. Probably Juicy J
Mhm.
as well, but it's just it's what made well, it's what helped solidify Project Pat with being one of the best Memphis rappers. Um, it's just Memphis rap. It's just a bunch of bangers.
Yeah. I've never heard it actually. I mean, other than some of the, like obviously chicken heads and some of the other hits that you
Cheese and
played for
Dope.
me. There's some. I mean, I guess you've honestly you've probably played for me a considerable amount of that album, but I've never listened to it
Yeah,
front to back.
yeah, it is hard to talk about it with only like just me describing it. It is
Mhm.
really just a bunch of Memphis type beats with there's a lot of features on it. Most of the 3 6 Mafia group appear on it at some point.
Yeah. Because would you say? I mean, like obviously, like the Memphis like style, like old 3 6 Mafia is kind of that like eerie, like
Yeah.
almost like a spooky type beat.
Yeah, I think I've watched some interviews with I think it was DJ Paul who described a lot of their songs as being almost like a movie, how it
Oh
plays
yeah.
out. So
Hmm.
it is. I think they also did say it was based on. They said they listened to a lot of or watched a lot of horror movies as kids,
Oh, did
and
they?
that's where they draw a lot of their influence from.
Hmm.
But that isn't necessarily what this album sounds like. It's more closer
Yeah.
to maybe what modern Memphis is like, where it's more just trap bangers, a little less of the eerie vibe, but it's like still dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get because I know we've talked before about how we've said that like um 3 6 Mafia in the 90 like the mid 90s and then 3 6 Mafia in the early 2000s sounds like two
Yeah,
completely different like
yeah.
groups. And like I feel like the stuff in the early 2000s is more like I feel like
It's
this has a negative connotation like club oriented but like in a good way.
Yeah, no,
Like
that's definitely what they did drift to later on. But even in their beginning, they had a lot of club bangers. It was just a different type.
yeah.
Like they had a song called "Tear the Club Up," which was on Mystic Styles, which supposedly when it was played, the uh, the club goers would do what the song title says and destroy everything. So
That's funny. Yeah, I heard something about how like that song would get banned. Like
yeah,
it wasn't allowed to be played anymore.
yeah. So they've
Which
always
is
been
really
very
funny.
club oriented. I just think maybe their later music became more accessible because
Yeah.
you know I know we just talked about our last episode was about God, but I think the idea of Satan adjacent music turns a lot of people away instead of just like
Yeah.
which is weird because a lot of their more modern music is like about them doing drugs and at the club. So they're
Yeah.
they're both not the greatest, but I
Yeah.
guess it is more accessible and is probably still played at some clubs.
Mhm.
When I don't think their early '90s stuff is played anymore, unless
Yeah.
maybe they might play.
Unless
They
unless
probably
for
still
those
will
who know,
play it in
those who
like
know.
Memphis. They probably still play it there, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Um
But yeah.
okay, yeah. I guess I'll give my number 7. I've got Rodeo by Travis Scott.
Oh, so
I
you
think this
just
is my
you
first
just switched that
modern.
right before making it?
No, or
Cause
wait.
cause didn't
Yeah, oh
cause
yeah, I did. I just forgot about it
which
before
one did you toss
we went
out?
with that. I think I was gonna go with 400 Degrees.
Oh wow.
But like, yeah, I like Rodeo more. I mean, um, I think looking actually no. I mean, I think Rodeo is a perfect album, like a true like 10 out of 10 album.
Yeah.
And I know like hearing Travis Scott, like Travis Scott, that guy,
Yeah.
like if you
McDonald's
have
meal
not
guy.
heard Rodeo, like yeah, yeah, the guy who's in Fortnite, he made like a perfect album. Yes, Rodeo is insane. I think
Yeah, I
like
would
how
agree.
we talked about how like Ti like kind of the originator of trap music and like a lot like he doesn't really maybe get his flowers like maybe that's because he's just like an older rapper, but
Hmm.
like when you think of trap music, I feel like a lot of people would think about Travis Scott, and I think that is sort of for good reason because
Yeah.
like Rodeo like reinvented trap music.
Yeah. It made it more
And
psychedelic.
yeah,
I don't
like
know.
truly, I don't think there was anything that sounded like Rodeo before it came out.
I mean, maybe because Monster came out before Rodeo, right?
Yeah, it
That
did.
those that might be the closest
I think,
comparison, maybe.
or
Just
actually, I
because
think did they come out the same year?
they
It might
might
be
have.
before, but
It's hard to
yeah, I
guess,
think
but
they, yeah,
I mean, Future appears on Rodeo. Same with a lot of the big trap artists. Like Ti appears on Rodeo. Same with like Two
yeah.
Chains. Who else is on that? I wouldn't.
Juicy J's on it.
Yep, Juicy J. There's a Pimp C sample on that song.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's kind of got the seal of approval from a lot of those trap
Yeah,
artists.
yeah. I mean, it really is I guess, a product of like Atlanta music and just Southern music in general. Or no, not Atlanta
He's
music. He's
he's
from
from
Houston.
Houston, yeah.
Um, Either way, yeah, I think just in general, the South,
Yeah.
it's like in line with it, but still very much innovates on it, and like in a way that I think like defined what like modern just rap music in general has sounded for the last 10 years.
Uh,
Because I think it just turned 10 years old not too long ago. But
uh.
yeah, I mean, I think probably one of the most important uh, hip hop albums, and it's also just like amazing.
So is
Um,
400 degrees then at the bottom of your list? Is that why I got kicked off?
yeah, I think yeah, it probably of everything I've listed in my top, it'd be below it.
Hmm.
And then I realized that I didn't have rodeo, so I slotted that in where I
Yeah.
felt was appropriate, and then 400 degrees
I
went.
put rodeo in my honorable mentions after you said it. I was like, might as well throw it in there because
Yeah.
I would agree it is deserving of an honorable mention at least for me because these lists are mostly based on opinion. These aren't
Mhm.
like obviously our lists are different, so there's not one that's correct over the other except for mine.
Right.
Um, I guess is that all you have to say about rodeo?
I think so. Yeah. I
All right,
think that's all I got.
here may come my hottest take, maybe the entire
Oh boy.
podcast. So you recently said Stankonia was your outcast choice.
I know exactly what you're gonna pick.
I I picked Southern Playlistic Cadillac for my list,
Yeah.
and this goes back to kind of what I was talking about before. I feel like the instrumental takes a pretty front row stage in a lot of Southern rap, and I think this is why I like this album so much because the album throughout or the production throughout this entire album is I would say flawless. It
Yeah.
is it is some of the best production I think I've ever heard. Um, and then also the rapping is iconic. They're still just as good as rapping on this album as they are on most of their other work.
Yeah. I feel like when people talk about like Outkast as a group, I feel like it kind of goes to like AT Aliens, Aquemini, and then Stankonia as like
Hmm.
the albums that are talked about. But I don't know why people don't talk about this album. Like
Yeah,
this is like
it is just. I think it's before I people say it's before they got I guess creative, which I don't. They made
um,
this they made this album. What do they call it? Was it the Dungeon? Is that yeah? It's
oh,
the
Dungeon
Dungeon family.
Family.
They made it in the Dungeon with a bunch of the other like Goody Mob guys, and so they didn't
Yeah,
really
because
have. I don't know if they really had much. Some people say that they had their like labels kind of making them sound more gangster, because that is kind of how they sound on this album more than others. But I think for the most part they got to do what they wanted to, and they're very
yeah,
young when they made this album. I think they're if I want to say they might have still been minors. I don't know though.
Yeah. Well, cause I know you've told me about like the whole thing with Players Ball, like
Yeah.
how they were kind of forced to do a song kind of like that. But what was like
I don't know
the
if
whole
they're
thing with that?
well. I think yeah they may have been forced to make a Christmas song. Um,
Just to be more marketable,
maybe
or just to
yeah.
put it out there? I
So
don't know.
maybe I'm right. Maybe their label was forcing them to do some stuff. But yeah, like at the end of the day, they still they made a Christmas song. It wasn't maybe the intent or what the label was expecting because it's if you listen to the song, it's very anti-Christmas.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole song is about how they don't really care about Christmas.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I feel like definitely like that. Like they were
They're still
the
doing
label
what they
tried to
wanted,
force them to do stuff, but yeah, but then they did something like creative, and
and
then
that's some
like
of the first you get to hear of I think any of the Goody Mob group because that album was
yeah,
before what is that album called?
Soul Food.
Soul Food, yeah. Um, the song is before, or that album's before Soul Food, so you get to hear very early CeeLo Green. What are the other members?
Uh,
I'm blanking. Bobby, whatever.
Cujo Goody is one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
can't
then
remember
and
the
then the
other ones.
others, and then the others,
Those other guys,
the other guys,
um,
those other nobodies. But yeah,
yeah,
I
bunch
so
of
I think
nobodies.
that's why I would put that at my number six, just
I
because
think that's
it
a
sounds very good and their rapping is
what's
very good.
yeah. What's your favorite song off of there? I bet I'd probably know
Oh,
it,
I
but
don't even know, dude.
oh
Um,
really?
the title track is very good, and
What about
players.
Crumbling Herb?
That was my favorite, maybe for a bit. It is very.
Okay,
That song
that's
is
kind of what
very.
I thought you'd say.
I really could just pick any of the, but I might just go with the title track, Southern Place at Cadillac. That's just. I feel like it's the best produced, and it's just like the
Yeah,
transition from the song before it onto that is flawless. I love it.
yeah.
That's one of the reasons why
Don't sleep
any.
on Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music, guys. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah. Wake up.
wake up.
All right.
Um,
I guess you can go for
Number
your.
6 for me?
Yeah, number
Okay.
6.
Okay, we're gonna really start to see where some of my biases lie. Okay, number 6, I got The Carter by Lil Wayne, the first one.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that
Um,
that that used to be my favorite at some point.
Dude, this one's just so good too.
It's very nostalgic for me because
Yeah.
I listened to it a lot as a kid. Like Go DJ.
Oh
That that
my gosh, bro.
that's one song I could rap front to back. Like
Yeah, same.
it's so
Oh, it's
good.
so good. This is The Carter, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember I
It's
don't
when
know, I don't know if this is for you or sorry, what were you gonna say?
well it's just the Carter where it's Manny Fresh over the entire thing. Like he's over a
Yeah.
bit on the Carter too, but there's also other people. This one is almost entirely Manny Fresh, so
Yeah.
it
And
does have
again,
that.
like, yeah, he's such a goated producer, so
Yeah.
it's like, how could you not like it?
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna say, I don't know about you, but like certain, just like listening to certain songs and even certain parts in songs, it'll like take me back to like a specific moment. Like it might be like the first time I ever heard it, or just like I remember listening to this album specifically. It was Ain't That a Bitch, and I remember we were playing Minecraft on Xbox. It was one of our, like, many different worlds where it was, like, a theme or whatever, like,
Yeah.
I don't think it was a war world, it was, like, it was I think it was, like,
Stay tuned
capitalist
for our
one.
War World podcast that's coming.
Oh my gosh, that might be the most legendary one.
Yeah. Stay
Um,
tuned.
yeah, really stay tuned for that. But, like, I always think, like, Kick That Shit, it's a song, like, 8 Ball and MJG song, I'm
Mhm.
sure we'll
Mhm.
get to that later.
Yeah.
I recall
Yeah.
I can listening to that, like, I know exactly where I remember we were at I was in the car with you, you were playing it for me, it was the first time I ever heard it. We were in the left-hand turn lane going to, like, going to school, you know the
Yeah.
one?
Yep.
Yeah. We were sitting there, and it was in the afternoon. I don't think school was going on 'cause, it wasn't in the morning, it was in the afternoon, kinda in the summer-ish, and I just every time I listen to that song, I think of that moment, just randomly just being in the car in the turn lane,
Yeah.
and it was just dude, it was just
That
fire,
doesn't
and
happen to me as much, but I definitely it's more like, I guess, a vague feeling for me where I remember a
Yeah.
certain point in my life where I was listening to that album. I do that more recently because it's especially for with that 8 Ball and MJG album. I listened to
Yeah.
that album for so long. It was like
Yeah.
an entire period of my life. It got to a point where I would just like it'd be like every day I put on the album and listen to it front to back.
Yeah, I
And that's
think
a
I remember
long
you telling me
album.
about that. I remember, yeah, because I mean, like, I get a ride with to school every day, and I definitely remember the on top of the world phase, and I mean, it's fire. I will get into that later.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I have a lot to say about that album.
but yeah, I mean, this is really just one of those, and it's still like I love so many of the songs on it. It's really nostalgic. I mean, like Lil Wayne, bro, like he's just rapping, bro.
Yeah, he
It's just
is.
so good. Um, and
That's
so
where I
I had to
think I can't even say that's where he came into his own because there's some songs off 500 Degrees, which was the album before that, the Carter one, where
yeah.
he's just like he's also just losing his mind, like rapping his ass off. I
Yeah.
remember there's that video of Kendrick Lamar. He's telling him not to quit and he's rapping. I think it's fuck what is it called? It was a
Um,
song of 500 Degrees.
it's
Uh,
Where You At? Is that
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
one?
Where you at? Where he's just
Oh,
that third verse is just
what
it's
did he say?
insane.
He's like, it's Young Wheezy, can't none see me, dog. I get you done easy
Well,
with
one
one
easy
easy
phone.
phone call.
Put a sawed off, make your arms fall off like a
Enough
short
like a
sleeve
short
polo.
sleeve
Won't
polo.
bother me no more. Like it's insane.
Yeah. Oh
And
my.
that's how
Yeah.
he
It's
keeps
just.
amping up still. Like it's crazy. So
Yeah. It gets like yeah. And when was because Lil Wayne had like, for those who don't know, like Lil Wayne doesn't write his raps, but before like he did at some point,
I
and then he
think he
had
did
his
on
like
500 degrees.
10,000 bars.
Yeah. Yep.
Was that it? Because that was before where if you don't know what that is, it was what is it like an hour or 30 minutes
It's
or
like
something like
30
that?
minutes of him just like basically I think what it was he had all these raps that he had written down and he's like
Hmm.
I'm just going to make one song where I rap them all. And so he
Yeah.
just what he did was he just got in the booth and had him play random like beats. Usually they're other other people's beats and he just rapped
Yeah.
them all. It's for like 30 minutes straight.
Yeah. The fucking insane. And that was before this album, and he was young when he released the car, like super young. I think he was like 22 or something.
I
Um,
don't know when it was. I feel like it was after this. Uh
Either 10,000 bars.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
I thought it was later. Uh 2002. Oh no, so
2002.
was
This,
that it was like right when he released this. Okay. So yeah, I
uh,
guess you're right. It might have been after this. It doesn't
yeah.
say the
Either
month.
way, yeah, super like just like insane peaks for like how young he
Yeah,
still
so
was at this time.
that's one of the reasons I like Lil Wayne is he's been going forever. Like he
I
since he's
yeah.
12 he has not stopped rapping and he's like
Did you see he's like now the longest active artist ever?
yeah. No, I can't.
Because apparently he's had like a song on the Billboard, like in the Billboard, like charting songs for like over 20 years, or
Yeah.
probably longer than
It's
that. I don't know
insane.
because his career is like, but yeah, like longest active art, like currently the longest active artist ever, like any genre. And yeah, he's just a beast, man.
Yeah, it and that's why sometimes I feel like it's kind of annoying when people don't give his flowers because it's like when you make music that long, you're eventually gonna release some stinkers. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
And you know,
And
he
even
released that
like,
rock album. It was very
yeah.
ambitious as a rap artist. No one had ever done that before.
Yes, bro. Yes. Like people shit on Rebirth all day, but like,
He was the
come
first
on, bro. At
one.
least he
He
did
was the
it.
first rapper to go and make a rock album. Um, and whether you like it or not, it influenced all those rappers who are doing that now.
Yes, bro. Like the kid, like no one has really made like a great like cross. Like no. I feel like there are very few rappers who have made like that transition well. Um,
It's very hard.
but like, but like
Some off the
that
top
like
of
Lil
my
Wayne,
head, like
he
Post
started that,
Malone, I
man.
think he's doing good in country. JPEG Mafia
Yeah.
just released that very rock heavy album. I think he did that
Yeah,
well.
that was good.
MGK.
JPEG
I'm just kidding. What?
or
Your mic's going crazy right now, bro.
Lil Yachty.
Oh yeah, Lil Yachty.
He had that like alternative. Yeah.
Yeah, and you listen to all these newer artists,
Oh,
they always list Lil Wayne as a big influence. So I think definitely doing that was part of that influence,
yeah.
deciding to make a rock album. But
Mm,
but yeah, was that your number
yeah. But
6?
yeah, I had to put the card.
Okay.
Yeah, resume. Okay, top five. We're starting again because we had some internet issues.
Number 5 for
Yeah,
me is
we're getting into the big stuff now.
heavy
Top
hitters.
five.
Heavy hitters. Forever is a
Heavy
mighty long
freaking.
time by Big Crit.
Oh my gosh, I'm surprised this is as early in your
Yeah.
list. Like, I mean, five is still, but like, I'm sort of surprised.
Well, you'll see why that's the case. I have a
Yeah,
my
I think
top
you're
3
right.
is
I know.
insane.
Yeah,
Um, but Big Crit, uh,
yeah,
very influenced by basically. I'd say the one influence he doesn't really have is Memphis. Other than that,
yeah.
like he's a modern Southern artist that draws a lot from those other like UGK. He draws a lot from. Um, who else does he?
I
I
mean,
feel
New
like his
Orleans.
biggest.
I feel like because Manny Fresh had production credits I think a few songs for sure.
Yeah, he's from
Um,
Mississippi, so I think
yeah,
he's fairly close to Texas. Um, but
yeah.
but basically this is a double album, so it's like nearly
Ooh.
2 hours long, and throughout that 2 hour long time span, it is nearly perfect, which is an insane
Oh man.
feat. It is a
Yeah,
crazy feat to make an album that long and that good, like consistently good. Which
yeah.
and
It's
for that, it's not just good; it's great.
yeah. In my opinion, this is another just perfect album. I genuinely like. I think every single song is perfect.
It's almost I feel like sabotages career a bit. I feel like he can't really
Yeah,
live up to that. He's had a hard time after that album really making something that
yeah.
sticks.
I feel like that's kind of I feel like that's kind of like a issue a lot of like because I feel like Travis Scott has never lived up to Rodeo. Nas never beat Illmatic, and Kanye I don't really think he ever did something better than the College Dropout.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd say graduation, but that's just me.
yeah, that's I mean that's fine. And like Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly. I know that wasn't his debut, but
Yeah,
like I don't think
he can't live up to so much. He's realized that he just decided to drop slop on us.
yeah, GNX bro, come on.
Come on, bro, you can do better. Three
um
times on the Cardi album. What are you doing, dude?
yeah. Um yeah, but yeah, this is like an unreal album.
Yeah, so I guess we can kind of break down how it goes. The first half, which is the I guess the first CD, is mainly just they mostly just bangers. They don't really have a point
Yeah.
other than just
I,
like they're to be bangers.
I
And then
think oh, sorry, go ahead.
and then I was just gonna say the second half is a lot more conscious. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of the songs have points that I think it accomplished very well. He really gets he describes how he's feeling very well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think if like the first what I've always like thought is like the first song on the first half is called Big Crit, so it's like his rapper name.
Hmm.
And then the first song on the second half is Justin Scott, which is like his actual name. And I've always thought that's like a just a cool
Yeah,
way to I think
it's
like
just
the
to show
first
that the Big Crit is like that's his rapper persona, so that's what a lot of the songs are about. Is they're very
yeah.
flashy and braggadocious.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like in a lot of ways the first half is like southern rap music embodied almost. Like
yeah,
everything I mean, like the second half definitely draws inspiration. Like it's also like a southern rap, but
yeah,
like in a lot of ways, like the first half is it's like it's southern rap
yeah,
music. Like it
and that is
really
why
is.
that's my favorite. I guess half. I like the first half more
Yeah,
than the second half. Even though I
yeah.
think
I actually like the second half more.
the second half does accomplish, I'd say more, but It's hard
Yeah.
not to just
I think
re-listen to those bangers all the time.
yeah, I mean it
But I think my
I
favorite
probably go back and
song
forth.
on the album is from the second half,
Which
which
is
is
that?
"Bury Me in Gold."
Oh
The
my
the ex
gosh,
the
yes.
exit track, like it's
Oh my gosh. It's yeah, I think like I mean like he just gets so vulnerable on that second half. Like it
yeah.
is like man, I think it was Big Crit who said like something like when he's listening to music, he said if it doesn't touch his soul or something, he can't listen to it. And
Hmm.
that shows, man. Like he like touches my soul with that album. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
It's very
Um
impactful. I think he does get more vulnerable than I think I've heard any other artist get on an album. At
yeah.
least that
It
I've listened to.
yeah,
I'm sure there
it's
are others.
incredible. And also, man, like Christian rap, man, like I think it's no secret that Christian rap is pretty much garbage for the most part.
Boo.
But like this is it, bro. Like you listen to Keep the Devil Off, that's like the best Christian rap song ever.
Yeah.
That song is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's
Um
he does do a lot of different stuff on this album, which just makes it that's one of the reasons that it doesn't get old through a full listen. Is
mhm.
there's all this different stuff that he's doing on it. Like he has like a country song on it, "Take Me to Georgia." It's
Yeah.
just it's also a banger. It's on the second half. It's it's just you would not expect that going in. At least like going into the first half, you kind of get a good idea of what's like going on in the first half, but then it's just the second half really just does a bunch of different stuff
Yeah.
that you would not
It's
expect.
yeah, it's oh man, it's unreal. Um but cuz would you say was this your favorite album at some point or at one point?
I think yeah, at one point it was.
Okay. We'll see where it lands for me. But
And it
you
might have
got
landed so low on my list, maybe because I haven't really listened to it in a while. So
yeah, yeah.
that's the thing with these like top fives. I feel like it can switch on a dime.
Yeah. Well, where would you say this lands on like your overall top 10? Cuz like I mean
Um,
like you're a big Southern guy, so is this like still like I mean top
I don't
10 would
know.
you say?
It would definitely be top 10 still.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's
I
a
think
pretty
it
big.
might go down a couple though.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
I think
I think that's
it would
pretty
just
good.
have to. I think there are two albums off the top of my head that isn't Southern rap that would go above it.
Is Victory Lap one of them?
Yeah, Victory Lap is one of them.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking at it right now. I've got like a stats app open. I'm just looking at the album cover. Yeah, okay. You got anything else to say?
No, other
We'll be
than go
back to
listen to it.
discussing it. Yeah, go listen to. Yeah, if you could take anything away from this video, just go listen to these albums.
Yeah.
Even the honorable mentions, man, they're just all insane.
Yep.
Okay, I will give my number 5. Um, okay, yeah. I'm gonna say The Fix by Scarface.
Wow. That one pretty
Yeah.
high on your list.
Oh my gosh. I love this. Every time I listen to this album, I realize why I love it so much. This is another like one of those memory things. I remember being at Soren's cabin over. It was the summer of 2022.
Wow.
Um, I remember just listening to a couple of different songs up at his cabin. It was just such a good time. And so Scarface, um, shit, where's he
From
from?
Ghetto
Is he
Boys,
Houston?
yeah, he's from I don't know if he's from Houston, but he's from
Or is
Texas.
he Dallas? Texas somewhere.
He's from Texas somewhere. I can't remember exactly. The
Texas.
Fifth Ward, I think that's what they always talk about on
Hmm.
in Ghetto Boys. But yeah,
Yeah. But
he's
yeah,
from
so
the group Ghetto Boys.
yeah.
What is it said? He's a classic album in like most decades, like the 80s,
Yeah.
90s, and 10s. Like
Yeah.
which is pretty insane.
That's what I was gonna mention. So yeah, he's obviously from the Ghetto Boys, which you'd probably know better than me just because I've only really listened to
I've listened
the
to a
one with the iconic album cover because it
yeah.
can't hold us back or whatever.
You
With
can't stop it. The one
Bushwick Bill.
he got shot in the face, and they're like in the
Yeah.
hospital. It is a very classic album cover.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it's super funny. Um, but yeah, so the Ghetto Boy, like I feel like a lot of people when they think of like gangster rap, like they think of NWA, but I feel like they're probably more culturally like impactful, but I feel like the Ghetto Boys were back in the 80s doing something similar.
Hmm.
and really kind of pioneers of gangster rap, and not only that, but of horrorcore. I've heard I was kind of going down a horrorcore rabbit hole recently, and like some of like the first ever like instances of horrorcore I think can be attributed to Ghetto Boys.
Yeah, because
So
they are very in your face. They're not radio friendly. That's one thing they go on a lot about is they're
yeah,
not radio friendly. They're very vulgar people, which
yeah, definitely.
was I think because they were around the same time that NWA
Yeah, I
was
mean back in
around.
the 80s.
I think they draw a lot of influence from that. But NWA is that famous song "Fuck the Police," which I think most people can agree is pretty vulgar. But Ghetto Boys just take
Mhm.
that and amplify it even more. Like just go listen to any of their songs. They have what is this? Mind of a Lunatic, where they're just rapping about all this awful
Yeah,
stuff that that they like. It's just they're very in your face, and they're one of the first people to kind of do that too.
yeah, definitely. So like already like Scarface is OG and he's super influential. But like and then I'd say he probably hit his peak in the 90s with like albums like The Diary and
Hmm.
like even some of the other stuff he did at with the Ghetto Boys. But what makes this album just the fix, what makes it so insane to me is I think it's his, like easily the best thing that he was associated with, like album wise or just
Hmm.
music wise, I guess. And it came like what would it be like 15 years into his career? Like most rappers don't even have a career for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then Scarface comes and drops like his best thing ever. In I forget when it like 2003 or
2000,
whenever this album came out.
2002 maybe. I don't.
2002. Yeah, so like well into his career, like by the time a lot of rappers' careers would be over,
Yeah.
and he delivers like what like it's I mean it's just such an amazing album. There's so many
I,
just
I would
classic
I would
songs on
probably
here.
agree with what you said that that's probably the best thing he's been associated with. I've never really like loved the Ghetto Boys as much as I do maybe other rap groups.
Yeah,
Um, but I do agree though that the Fix is probably the best thing he's ever put out.
yeah. The Diary is great too. The Diary is really good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you were saying. He's got like classics in 3 decades, which is like pretty insane.
Yeah.
Um, but like what makes I like this album, man, like it's just got classics. Like obviously, like On My Block is an insane
Hmm.
song.
Love that song.
And like just other songs like the Safe and Cold Blooded. But also like I know we were just talking about like Christian rap is kind of shit.
Yeah.
Except like in a few cases. I feel like on this album is some of the best instances of like Christian rap done probably the best there's a song Heaven and
Hmm.
What Can I Do kind of has like that. And then Someday. Oh my this might oh man. That song is so freaking good. Like
Freaking.
it dude, it that I like again that song touches my soul. Like
Yeah.
it is so good. And
I got to go
I
back and
think
re-listen to that because that might be another case of the ones where I haven't listened to it in a while, so it
you
might have.
you gotta listen. I think it's produced by the Neptunes as well.
I thought some of it was produced by Kanye as well.
I think so, yeah. But yeah, it's a super good song. And I think what like part of what gives those songs so much weight is like as we were saying, like Scarface is the content that he's like known for rapping about is like it's gangster and it's like
It's
almost
like,
evil. Like the stuff that
it's
he
like he's
it's
rapping.
so
It's like he fucking
bad.
hates his fans sometimes. He's like,
Yeah.
it's like he hates everybody.
Yeah, like he like the stuff he was rapping about in the 80s and 90s is just like he made Hand of the Dead Body.
Hmm.
Like just these songs that are super like vulgar. And then I feel like I guess the juxtaposition of songs like that and then coming out with a song like Someday, it gives it so much weight to me, I
Yeah,
feel like.
and I also think that just shows how you know, even though they're putting this content in their songs, that isn't necessarily them. That's just what they choose to
Right,
put
yeah.
on an album that to like get sales.
Mm,
Like
yeah, cuz
a lot of people do not put their heart into their music, and I think in the case of those Ghetto Boys albums and even his early work, he didn't necessarily put his heart into it, I think he put his maybe anger and
Yeah.
and talent. Like it was still a good album, but I don't think he put his heart into it. I think
Mhm.
that's you can't judge someone. I guess. Well, maybe you can. I don't think I really care to know Epstein's heart. But
Yeah.
I think you should just be a bit more lenient on them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think songs like this, it's easy to tell, this is him, like, this is he's speaking from his soul,
Hmm.
and, yeah, listen to that song, like, that is such a beautiful song, like, I think that's, like, one of my favorite, like, hip hop songs of all time, it's such a good song, you gotta listen to it,
Yeah.
um, it's really good, but that's all I gotta say about that one.
All right.
Classic, amazing.
Well, I can get past my number four because it's the Carter three. That's where I put my
Oh, yeah.
Carter. So that's my number three. We already kind of talked about that. Lil Wayne's the goat.
Mhm.
Not too much more to say.
Yeah,
So I guess
he's the GOAT.
we can just go to your number three or your number four.
Okay, get ready. I got the Carter 2 by Lil Wayne.
Fair, bro. I thought I was a
This
Lil Wayne
is,
Glazer, bro.
yeah, man, it's straight up glaze. This is my I mean, like you said, yeah, I jump back and forth a lot, but I think overall, I think this is the one that, I think overall, I feel like this is, it's weird, like, I heard Joe Budden say it, and usually I don't really agree with Joe Budden on a whole lot of things, but, in terms of Lil Wayne, the world would say the Carter 3 is his best album, but the core would say, like, the Carter 2.
Yeah.
And I
It's
mean, that
really
I think
hard
that
for me
is,
to decide. It's
I think,
that
yeah, I mean, that's not, like, set in stone because obviously it's Joe Budden,
Yeah, and that's
but I
one thing I was
kinda
dealing with
understand
though.
what
Is
he means.
it was like there are probably albums that I put on my top 10. I probably like the Carter Two more than, but it's like
Yeah,
I guess I chose a different route from you because I honestly I probably would have had the Carter Two. I probably would have kicked I don't know, maybe trap music off in favor of the Carter Two. Like now that I'm looking back at it,
yeah.
because I probably like the Carter Two more. Maybe even
Yeah, it's just hard. I mean, this is just, like I feel like
I
front to back, this is, like, just his most
and there's
just
also
robust and just
yeah,
I don't know, it's just insane. Like, everything that we've said about the Carter 3 and 1 apply to this as well, and
yeah.
it's,
Although I think the Carter Three is maybe a bit more creative. I
yeah,
think I
I'd say
think I
I'd
think
say so
he I
too.
think he kind of digs deep on that one and does, but the
Yeah.
rapping is just equally as good on the Carter too.
Mhm. I think, it's cool to kinda see his evolution through the Carters because, 1, it's, like, definitely he's got, like, something to prove a little bit,
Hmm.
and he sounds really hungry, but on, like, the Carter 2, it's like he
He
already
knows
kn
he's
like,
the
there's
shit.
songs like he's, like, the best rapper alive, like, he
Yeah,
already knows that he is, like
yeah.
he's, like, actually he's got
And
something,
that's where like his
and, like,
charisma
he
shines
sounds so
through. I feel like
slick.
it shines through the most on the Carter too. He just like his charisma is
Yeah,
like off the charts. He just
yeah. It's pretty insane.
yeah,
And I'd say it's always subject to change with these, like, those 3 albums,
yeah.
but I think just where I'm at right now, and where I've been kinda for a while is just the Carter 2 is my favorite. I'm
That's
looking
fair.
at the, just my total streams. I've listened to the Carter 3 the most, the Carter 2 the 2nd, and then the Carter 1. So it's
Oh,
actually, like, kinda out of order here, but of, like, what I listened to. But anyways, I think, yeah, the Carter 2, I think it's probably just the in my opinion, it's the best, but, I mean, yeah, again, it'll change
yeah.
probably,
Oh,
but
I'm wondering what your
not
top three is gonna be. I know what a couple. I know what one album is
yeah.
gonna be. Do you want me to say my number three?
Yeah, say your number 3.
Riding Dirty by
Woo!
UGK.
Yes, bro.
That is
Yes. Oh my gosh.
easily, well, I don't know. I don't even know where to really start with this album. I guess you might have what are your thoughts on this?
Man, every time I listen to this album, I think it's, like, more and more just perfect.
Yeah. I would agree with that. When I first listened to it, there were a couple songs that I didn't really like, but now I've
Yeah.
completely turned around on them.
Yeah, I was there with you. I remember you put me onto this album and, like, there were songs like, I didn't like "Fuck My Car" at first, or,
Mm.
yeah. I didn't like that song, and, like, Touched. I never liked Touched.
Yeah, that was the one I didn't, or yeah, I didn't really like that one because of that repeated snare hit. I thought it was kind of annoying, but I don't know. I've gone past it, and I think it's one of those ones where I feel like it's the beat is a little bit more low key for Bun B to kind of do what he's gonna do in the beginning.
Yeah. And what a classic verse on that Touch song.
Yeah, and
Like
even
his
more on
storytelling is
Murder.
insane.
Like
Oh my
literally, I
god.
think the best verse I've ever heard was Bun B on Murder. I
Yeah, I
think
might be. I'm in a similar boat. Like I
unless
think.
I don't know if I could compare it to some of the Lil Wayne verses where it's just like he doesn't have a hook or anything. He's just
Yeah, like would
rapping.
you count a milli? Like the whole song is just one verse.
Yeah, it's difficult because it's like he isn't a duo, so he has to share the mic. Um,
Mm.
but I think
Um.
it is at your throat. It's insane, and even like Pimp C on that album is also very good. Or
Oh my gosh.
yeah, or on that
Yeah.
song. Sorry, but just it's the insane duo.
Yeah. Because I know we've talked before about because what was their album? The one right before this. It
Super
was I
tight.
forget what the name is. Super Tight. Yeah. And I know how you've kind of said that like Pimp C is kind of always shy or like he
He's shown more on those first two albums. What is it? Something Good, I think the first one is. And then
yeah.
or no,
Too Hard to
what is it?
Swallow. Is that
Too
the
Hard to
first one?
Swallow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a song name. And then Super Tight. Pimp C literally, or he definitely does kind of. He's the star of their duo at that
Yeah.
point.
I'd agree.
But then on
Like,
Ryan
cause he did a
Dirty,
lot of the production. He produces for a lot of
yeah,
UGK stuff too. So it's like
and
he's kind of just got that one up on him a little
he was
bit
just kind
on
of better
Bun
on the
B.
mic too. He had more
Yeah.
charisma. When when this one came out, I think Bun B stepped it up almost to an
Yeah.
insane degree. Like I don't know what happened between Super
Yeah, his
Tight.
mic presence is just like I feel like even just the way he sounds on the mic, like his voice almost.
Yeah,
Like his it starts off with One Day, which is a pretty low-key song, but then when you get into Murder, which is the second song, like the way he like kicks off his verse is just
hmm
like you feel him. Like
yeah, and
he
also to
has
say
such an
that that
insane mic
start
presence.
of I think both of their verses was a callback to Too Hard to Swallow. They both had a verse that started a similar way, so it was like a
Yeah.
callback to that song. I forgot which one it is, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's they're both on every song. Like
Yeah.
they're
Literally.
ready to go. It's
Yeah.
just flawless verses by everyone. Flawless production. It is the UGK
It's the
album to listen
shit.
to.
Yeah.
It's
It's the
you just
shit.
gotta go listen to it. It
And I
is
guess
insane.
we UGK Houston or are they they're Houston, right?
Yeah,
Houston Underground Kings, they're back in the 90s, 2000s. Well, rest in peace Pimp C. Pimp C died.
yeah, he did die.
For those who don't know, which is very sad.
Yes,
Um but Riding Dirty Man, like it's it's really yeah, it's one of those like albums where like literally every single song is like every single song is like a true masterpiece almost.
hmm
There's still one like I never really liked what's the song?
Is it Carry Every
Um
Single Day?
yeah, Carry Every Day.
That's maybe my least favorite as well. It's a bit repetitive, and
Yeah, that's kind of what I think
I don't
too.
think that's their forte is repetition. I think that's more the Memphis style where
Yeah.
they repeat the hook.
Yeah. But yeah, like all the songs, like I mean, I could list off every single song. Like Pinky Ring
I
is
also don't skip
like
that
their
song either
flows.
though. I do not skip Care Every Day because it's not bad.
No, I don't either. Yeah, no, absolutely not. But yeah, like Pinky Ring is great. Like Diamonds and Wood.
hmm
Oh my gosh, 3 in the morning. Like
Just go listen to it,
yeah,
bro. Just go listen
yeah,
to it.
you
If you haven't
gotta
listened to it,
listen to it.
you are doing yourself a disservice by not.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
Tupac certified. He loved it too.
Yeah, it is. I can't remember if this story was chalked up to be false or not, but like supposedly, like around the time that Tupac died, like right before, like he ended up buying two albums, and one was like some R&B album. I can't remember what it was, maybe like a leak or something, and then the other was Riding Dirty. I can't remember if that story was confirmed, but um, yeah, Tupac likes it, so.
Yeah.
This is like classic Southern hip hop. Like
It doesn't get much better than this.
UGK, yeah, UGK is the shit. This is like their, oh my
It's their
gosh, this is
magnum
their
opus.
thing.
The rest of their stuff is really good as well. I wouldn't say they had a bad album, but
Yeah,
this is the cream of the crop. This is like
yeah. Holy crap.
so yeah.
This
I
is like,
guess we can stop frothing at the mouth over this album
yeah,
unless your
yeah.
third is Ryan Dirty.
No, that's, I'll just say that's my second, but my third is the most modern pick on here so far, The Forever Story by JID or
Oh
Jid.
yeah, I completely forgot about that. I
Um,
remember we were talking
I
about
just,
that when we decided the concept for this podcast.
yeah,
You brought that
I
up
just
because he's
like,
from Atlanta.
yeah.
He's always kept those Atlanta roots in his music.
And like, it's sort of like, it's sort of hard. Like, like, there's obviously rappers who are from certain places who don't like necessarily, like, it's not like they don't identify with where they're from, but like their music is definitely not like the traditional, like, I would say like JPEG Mafia, he's a East Coast artist.
Hmm
But, like, you don't listen to JPEG Mafia and be like, "Yeah, man, I'm listening to this, like, classic East Coast sound."
Or like
Like,
J
he's
Cole, isn't J Cole also from Atlanta? It,
I think he's from North Carolina, isn't he?
oh, I don't know. I associate him with Atlanta because he's from Dreamville. Um,
Yeah, I mean, he's
but
a Southern artist. He always
yeah,
claimed the
but
South,
he
but, like,
all
I
of his
wouldn't say
music
he's
sounds like
necessarily.
boring as shit. Like
Yeah.
it's
That's a
it's
hot take.
not. I was gonna say more like East Coast, but I think I felt boring as shit was a better descriptor.
Well, yeah, because it was I listened to one of his earlier mixtapes, and he would always like I remember on one of his songs, he was like he was talking like in the intro, he was like talking about like, yeah, I was saying how Southern rappers can't or Southern artists can't rap. Well, here we go, or something like that. But then like I think he definitely I feel like he's more like a he sounds like more East Coast kind
He
of stuff.
does.
And I'd say there's exceptions some places in his discography, but
Hmm
um, like it's sort of hard. Like obviously, like not every rapper who comes from Atlanta will be in Atlanta. Like they're not
Yeah,
gonna make traditional
CeeLo
Atlanta
Green
music
went
or
on
something.
to have a pop career.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he kind of
exactly.
drifted away from that. You don't associate most people don't associate CeeLo Green with Atlanta rap, even though that's his origins. And
Hmm.
I would say the same thing about Lil Wayne. The more he's gone on, the less
Yeah,
his music sounded southern.
and that's what I was gonna say. So surprise, surprise. I think my favorite. Well, shoot, I guess I already said the Carter Two is my favorite, but my really favorite Lil Wayne album is the Carter Five, actually. The one that came out in 2018.
Yeah,
Um, and but I wouldn't really say that's like a traditional Southern album.
yeah.
Like it is from this. Like he's still a New Orleans artist, but like I excluded it just because I felt like
Four
it's
Lil
just
Wayne
not
albums on one
traditionally.
top 10 would be a little bit too
Dude, yeah, I
extreme.
know. Well, yeah, yeah. I think if this was my like all-time top 10, like I don't think the Carter 1 or even 3 would probably be on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Carter 5 is like I love it so much. It's such a nostalgic album for me, but
hmm
I wouldn't there's exceptions, but I don't think it's like traditionally Southern. Um, I mean, maybe I'm blaspheming Lil Wayne right now. And like if he heard this, he'd be like, "Nah, it is Southern." But like I'd say it was
It
at a
just doesn't
certain point he
sound like
definitely
it.
departed because like yeah, like Rebirth, you don't hear Rebirth rock album be like, "Oh yeah, this is New Orleans." Like
Yeah.
um, so I think there are like certain stuff where you maybe wouldn't include it. So I don't know. I didn't include it just because anyways, we were talking about the Forever Story. Yeah, Jid. I mean,
JID.
he's definitely yeah, JID.
I'm still gonna
um,
call him that.
yeah.
That's what I've
Um,
always called him, and to realize that
that's what I call him too,
to
man.
realize that
JID, not Jid. Jid sounds kind of stupid,
yeah.
but anyways, but but yeah, he's definitely like a traditional, like he's an Atlanta artist through and through.
Yeah.
And I think this album, I mean, you can hear it. And this is again like another perfect album for me, a perfect rap album.
Yeah.
Um, Like he's just the flows he hits on this album, like it seriously is like some of the greatest flows I think I've ever heard throughout the entire genre.
Hmm.
Um, I know it only
It's
came
very
out 3 years
impressive.
ago, not even 3 years ago.
It's one of those that came out and everyone knew was an instant classic. It was that good.
Yeah, it really is just that good. And the more and more I listen to it, for the short couple of years it's been out, it like that just to show how great it is, it's like already one of my favorite albums of all time because it's insane. I know I've
Yeah.
said that a lot for a lot of these albums, but this
Well,
one's
they're on your top 10, so they
yeah,
should be
this
insane. But should I say my number two?
yeah. I think that's all I had to say for the Forever Story. Go listen to that one. That was a good
Yeah,
one.
for real.
That's more I'd say accessible. I feel like that's one of the most
Yeah.
accessible ones on the
He has
list.
a
Cause
couple
and
bangers on it. He had
not to say it's a bad thing.
he had a TikTok
Um,
song.
he had a TikTok song, but still great album. Okay, go ahead with your number
Okay,
two.
number two is On Top of the World by 8 Ball and MJG.
Oh,
Um,
so okay, that means your number. Anyway, I
we
won't.
we talked about this a little bit earlier.
Mm,
It's a duo out of Memphis. Um, what's weird about them is they predate, I guess, most of the traditional like 90s uh, Memphis artists that you kind of associate with. Like, so he predated Project Pat,
yeah.
3 6 Mafia, all those guys. Um, Kingpin, Skinny Pip. He predated
Shout
all.
out, bro.
They predated all of them. And they did not have that traditional like what you'd associate Memphis rap with. So like they're not
Mm,
very dark. They this album in particular, I think it was in '95. It has more of a West
yeah,
Coast feel. It has a lot of
yeah.
I guess like what would you consider that? It's like what is it, synths? Or what
Yeah, I'd say it's like kind of in line with G-Funk, kind
Yeah,
of.
it's in line with G-Funk, but with like it's like a mixture of that with more Southern rap. So
Yeah.
it's this really cool blend of those two, which is one of those things where it's I feel like West Coast and Southern rap collaborate a lot more. There's a lot more
Mm,
influence in Southern rap to Southern rap has a lot of influence from West Coast instead of more East Coast, and a lot of that has to do
yeah.
with East Coast kind of shat on. I think both. They didn't really like West Coast or South, so I think it
Yeah,
created kind
they're
of a
kind of
unity between the two,
yeah.
and so they would collaborate a lot more. But so it kind of has that sound to it, and the duo, um, they I'd almost say maybe not to the as extreme. They don't have as insane lyrics as Clips, but I feel like they have that chemistry, you know?
Yeah, I definitely would agree.
Like they go back and forth and it feels like they're on the same page on almost every song. And
Yeah.
the reason I'd say I like this album so much is that I feel like it's one of those blends where I feel like some Southern albums are just they go all in on making us like a banger, you know, that isn't really about
Mhm.
anything. And then there's the the Kendrick Lamars of the world, whose entire album is they're just throwing his thoughts in your face, and you just have to kind of sit with it.
Yeah.
Um, have an argument with your girlfriend over a song, and it just sounds awful, and you never re-listen to it.
Oh, come on.
Come on, who listens to that, bro? Who's got that on a playlist? Tell me who.
Dude, I've got We Cry Together on repeat, bro. On my bank. I put that in my gym playlist.
Yeah, but so I feel like there's a lot of them which are just on those sides, but on Top of the World is a cool blend where it's like half and half. I feel half of the songs on it are just
Mm,
bangers that are made to sound good and they're kind of just meant to flex their muscles and just sound good, and then the other half are
mm,
very they are purposeful, like they're about something. Um,
yeah.
and so I feel like it has that nice blend where it's because I feel like I can't really get into conscious albums myself because it's a little bit boring to me, and I like listening to the nice sounds a bit more than
Yeah.
trying to
I
follow a narrative
understand.
the entire time. Which is also
Mm,
the reason I really like that new Schoolboy Q album, Blue Lips. I feel like it does a very similar
yeah.
thing. Maybe
Yeah,
even to a
definitely.
higher degree because it feels like every song kind of has a point, but they also sound really good.
Well, I'd even say like I mean maybe this is what you would be considering like those songs at the point. Like I'd say like what can I do?
Yeah,
Like that to me that's like kind of like a like I could be pumping my fist to that
yeah.
fucking song just because
But
it like the beat is so like crazy. But then it's also like really topical about
yeah,
like
it's like how to
them trying to escape like drug dealing. Like
yeah, the lifestyle that they live with they can't. That's kind of the point of it. It's like they're giving these stories about like anecdotes about their attempts to get out and it can't pan out because of just their scenarios,
yeah.
their own issues. Like it's very I don't know. It's very it is very conscious of an album, but it doesn't sacrifice the how good it sounds. I feel like because I
Yeah.
my main um my main straw man I guess is Kendrick Lamar. I'm not the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan just because I feel like that's what he
Mm.
does. He sacrifices how good a song will sound for it to have a point.
Yeah. I'm kind of the opinion like I think a lot of his songs I like Kendrick Lamar quite a bit.
Hmm.
Um I mean I think a lot of his songs, even like the more topical ones sound good, but it's definitely like it can like I think there are a couple where it feels kind of I don't know what the word would be, like indulgent kind of,
Yeah,
where it's kind of
and
it's like okay
also
buddy, we get it.
yeah, and also Kendrick Lamar. I'm just gonna say it. He has an annoying voice. He does not have a voice where it's like, oh yeah, what a great voice.
Dude, I don't think he can sing. I think he should stop.
Yeah,
Other than that, I mean, I think he's got a fine voice, but
yeah.
I
So
don't. I'm not a big fan of his
th-
singing.
this shouldn't just be a hate trade on
Put the
Kendrick
pussy
Lamar.
on a pedestal. Like, dude, stop, bro, stop.
You're ruining the song. Um, but yeah, that's I went through a phase for a long time where I would just be listening to that album like on
Yeah.
repeat. It was just that good.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
No, definitely Memphis. Memphis
and
super
and also
classic.
I would say even though Ryan Dirty has a man named Pimp C on like he is one of the duo members, I think On Top of the
Yeah.
World is the pimping album. They talk about it more than
Pimpin', bro.
they
Space age pimping.
yeah, they talk about it more than UGK ever really does.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
I
is the
agree.
pimping album for
For
pimps.
for all you pimps out there.
For all you pimps that haven't listened to this album, go do
Yeah. From a couple pimps to another.
it. Yeah.
Listen to this album.
Yep.
But yeah, no, this is I know what your number one is gonna be, but
Hmm.
I'll just say like my number two is Riding Dirty.
Yeah.
You said it. So we can get into your number one. I didn't actually think this was gonna be number one, but
Yeah. My
I
number
guess
one
you can go ahead.
is Wait, yeah, it's Mystical Styles. Is that? I'm having a fucking insane brain. It's Mystic Styles.
Mystics.
I don't know why I wrote it. I don't know why I wrote it down as Mystical Styles. I think I was looking at Mystical the artist. that
Oh yeah,
that threw me
the
off. Mystical Styles.
bouncing it back against
Duh,
the
duh,
wall.
duh.
Yeah.
Mystic Styles. That
Um.
is my number one. Uh,
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
it is, I think, the most atmospheric album you can ever listen to, in my mind.
Yeah.
I think they go all in on this sound that I mean, I think there's been a little bit of a internet drama about how they stole that sound from another guy, but it doesn't really matter
Is
to
that
me.
well, cause like,
I can't remember
is
who it
that
was.
a
I think it was some sort
Gangsta
of
Pat? Is that
I
who
don't
like?
I thought it was
Cause this
some
is oh wait,
DJ.
I don't know. Like for those who don't, I think did you mention like this is 3 6
Yeah,
Mafia,
3 6 Mafia.
right? Okay.
So they're from Memphis. This is the album to listen
This
to.
is where it started, man.
Yeah, this is where this creepy atmospheric horror
Creepy
movie
ass shit,
type
bro.
beats. Like this is where this is from.
Hmm.
Um,
I always heard of like Gangsta Pat being like someone who was like tied to 3 6 and like
I
maybe,
don't
but
think he
like
ever
I
I
don't
don't think he
know.
ever made songs with them. At least I've never heard a song. I think
I thought maybe he had
he's
ties or something, and then like
I mean he probably did. They're all from Memphis, so I probably interacted at some point. But I know
what was like what
Project
is
or
DJ Paul Hypnotized Minds or
yeah,
whatever?
Hypnotize Minds.
Apparently, supposedly maybe that was Gangsta Pat's like name, or he came up with. I don't know if that's true or not.
I
So,
thought like they kind of
anyways,
stole the sound from a DJ. I cannot remember. I don't even know why we're talking about this because like we don't know what we're talking about.
yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Let's just stick to the music, little bro.
I mean, clearly they're doing it better than anyone else
Yeah,
could
that's why
because
I
there's
don't really
nothing out
care because
there.
if you have a concept that you don't like, it's I don't know. It might sound mean, but like if you don't capitalize on this new sound, someone else is gonna do it better than you, and
Yeah,
that's what they did supposedly. Um, I we've had debates in the past where I think 3 6 Mafia is the best rap group. Period. Better than Wu
yeah,
Tang, better than the Roots. Um, I think the one thing where those, at least Wu Tang, one ups 3 6 Mafias in the members' solo projects.
yeah,
There's not a whole lot of consistency with the 3 6 Mafia solo projects. They're not as good as like
yeah.
their mainline albums. But I think as a group, they are the best group that you can find, and that goes, all the way up to present. They're not really making music presently, but like they had a mixtape. It was in like 2003, um, called the Mafia Six, and it
Oh yeah,
what, and it's like they're all out of their prime. Yeah, 2013. They're all out of their prime by far, and they come and drop this mixtape. You'd figure it'd be bad, but it's actually very good.
yeah. I
Which
think I
is which
remember
is
you played this. We were going like skiing or snowboarding skiing.
yeah, it's
I think is that when you played it for me?
yeah, I think so. It's
Yeah.
just very impressive that they can come back collectively when they're all out of their prime and make an album that's still kind of sticks. It almost goes back to their original sound. It's like still more creepy. So they go back to that original sound and it's still very good. But yeah, this is about
Mhm.
mystic styles, mystical
Yeah.
styles. Um,
Yeah, this is another one I actually have not fully listened to it, front to back. Actually, no. I think I had, but it was one of those things where I put on headphones and it was kind of doing something
yeah,
else.
that's how my first listen. A lot of these, well, other than like Ryan Dirty and On Top of the World, when I listen to them for the first time, like immediately they're on repeat.
Yeah.
But Mystic Styles was not that album for me. I remember I listened to it, I didn't really like it. It took me a while, and that's the case with a couple of these albums. They're not the most easy to get into.
Mhm.
Hell Hath No Fury, I didn't like at the start. 400 Degrees, I didn't really like at the start. Um,
Yeah.
and Mystic Styles. I'm reading off my screen. It still says Mystical Styles. Like
Um,
all three of those were
yeah.
not exactly my favorite when I first listened to them. It just takes a bit of time.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely have to give it some more time because I mean, would you say like full top 10 like of all time? Is this number one then? Would you
It
say?
oh like for
Everything in consideration.
I think
'Cause I don't even
it's
know
either
what would
one or
be
two. It's either one or two.
what would be better than that?
I think it would be that Chris Christodoulou album, First Good Rain.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'd have to sell on it a bit, but both of those are.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was trying to think. I was thinking just in context of hip hop. I was like,
Oh no.
um what could possibly be above it? But um
But yeah,
yeah,
that's all I have to. It's just the most
I mean,
atmospheric album.
ultra classic,
Yeah,
ultra
they
classic.
probably one of the most. I think the most influential like '90s Southern album. I think it's single-handedly the most influential.
I'd probably agree.
Like
Having not even listened to it, having not really even I guess fully committed to it, I understand that this is like probably yeah the most impactful,
yeah,
influential.
yeah.
Um,
So but like I said, any of those top three, like on a day, I could be feeling one over the other. Um,
yeah,
I recently just re-listened to Mystic Styles and it's still amazing. So
Yeah. Um, I guess we don't need to spend a whole lot of time with my number one. I've got Forever is a Mighty Long Time.
wow.
Um,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
wondering what your number
it's
one was gonna be. I would have figured you already would have said that. But
no, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at my like this app that shows all my stats. This is my most listened to album by a very wide margin. Like, yeah, a
yeah,
lot.
that I guess that just shows how. Because I bet that's because of how much music is on it and how good all of it is. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I find myself like my favorite song from this album has changed so much.
mhm.
Um, like and just going back and forth like between even the two albums. I'd probably like the second half more just because there's just I don't know there's just parts of it that but like
It's
that
almost weird to have to pick
it's
that
it's
because
close,
it's
man.
yeah, yeah, it's a
Just because
very
yeah the
good album.
first is like some of the flows he hits on that like Big Bank, bro. Like I don't like there's like I still can't even keep up with like some of the stuff he's saying on like his flows. Like I
Yeah,
and I've listened to it like I don't know how much,
that just
like
shows how much
a
you don't
lot.
care.
Yeah, it's I really just I don't really give a shit. But no, but yeah, I mean, it's just it's an insane album.
Yeah, insane album. The
Insane
descriptive
album.
word of the day, insane.
Yeah, by my
And my secret
metrics of
number one
insane
is
album.
Insane Clown Posse.
Oh yeah,
All of
dude.
their albums.
Yeah, where are they from?
I
I
don't know, dude.
don't even know. They're
I
gigolos,
don't think I
bro.
could ever listen to that. Listen to
No,
them. I think I go
I
crazy.
don't think so either. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just it's like a magical album. I'll never get sick of it.
Yeah,
Everything about it's just
that's
perfect
the
to me.
case with most of these albums. I feel you could re-listen to them forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this is like all-time favorite too, I think.
yeah, that's fair.
Not just Southern, but
Yeah, well, that about wraps it up, doesn't it?
I think so. I mean, I think we could keep this like going into
The other
um
coasts.
yeah, other coasts and just like again, as we said, Soren and Samuel probably would not contribute a whole lot to a conversation like this. They got their own music genres that
Yeah,
they're into.
you
Um,
might get some of their music opinions at some point. They've talked about that, off the off the cast. They've talked
yeah,
about that.
we might get I suppose the one person who we've had consistent Killer Kiwis. Wait, no,
Andrew. Yeah,
that's his
that's
Andrew overdose on kiwis is his YouTube. He could probably come in here and talk with us.
yeah,
He'd know what he's talking about or what
mhm,
we're talking
yeah.
about.
So yeah, we'll see where
And
this takes us. Let us know. Let us know if we're right or we're wrong.
yeah, but we're right.
Yeah, we're right. I'm right.
Yeah.
I'm right. You're wrong.
Um,
Let's have this
yeah,
debate. I'm
so
right. You're wrong.
we'll probably do another episode kind of like this,
Yeah,
Austin and I
it was
talking
a lot of
about
fun.
hip hop
We tend to
or
do
just
this a
in
lot just when
general.
we're hanging out, just me and Evan just talk about this. So we figured it'd be fairly easy to come and just talk about it. It's like we do it all the time.
Yeah, it's a pretty natural thing to just be talking about
Yeah.
because I feel like we're just thinking about it like 24/7.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, hopefully we just put you guys on to the greatest albums of all time.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, man. Like I feel like if someone were to go listen to all these like insane like cuz where do they even go from there?
I
Like
don't know.
part of the magic is finding like that new like greatest album and obviously there's like other stuff out there, but
It was just weird because a lot of
like we just put you on to like the cream of the crop of like the whole fucking genre.
yeah, it is
Just kidding.
weird because
There's
a
more.
lot of southern rap album covers are they kind of have this style. It's hard to explain. It almost looks cheap and bad. And so
Yeah.
like at least maybe like half of them like they just have this style that you would look at it and you wouldn't really expect it to be good. Then
Yeah,
you go and listen to
definitely.
it and it's like,
I mean, look at the Mr. Thug Isolation cover.
yeah.
It's like, what is
Or the
that?
400 degrees one, like it's just they're
Yeah,
just insane. You wouldn't
it's just
expect them to
over
be
the
good.
top.
And so like
Yeah,
going into an album with that album cover and just being like blown away by it, like how good it
Yeah,
actually it is a treat. It is amazing.
yeah. Even on top of the world, man, like that
Yeah,
album cover is kind of insane.
yeah, it is. Like they're sitting on the car.
Yeah, he's like playing pool, but then they're like tiny.
Yeah, it's very crazy. Um,
Yeah, it's the South has definitely got a certain charm to it.
yeah.
And so yeah, we might
We'll think of some other
yeah,
random shit to talk about music related, and
yeah,
get
we'll probably do
used
the other
to
posts.
the change where there might not be every member. I think we talked about that already, but
Yeah, we figured our upload schedule has been a little whack.
it's
It's
been
just because
so
it's
good.
kind of hard to schedule around everyone because we're all
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
But
finals
it,
coming up, so
yeah, holy crap, we're living the nightmare right now.
yeah. But we'll have some more time this summer. We're gonna
Yeah,
we're
yeah, we
gonna
will.
lock in. But
Yeah, I feel like from now on, I feel like we'll have a lot of person stuff coming.
yeah, a lot of you said a lot of in-person stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would agree. We're all moving back. We all live fairly close to each other when we're not in college, so we're about to be locked
yeah.
in.
Yes, we will.
But yeah, I think that
Well,
should do it.
I think so too.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, bye. See ya.